back to my channel. I did say that I was going to be updating you guys on kind of my journey while I've been reading the Bible. There have been a lot of lessons that I've learned, but unfortunately I haven't captured them, which I said I would and I haven't. So at the moment I'm up to Jeremiah, Lamentations. So I'm reading the Bible in chronological order, and while I've been reading this, I have had a thought and something that I really want to talk about. Now, apologies if I keep looking down. I do have some notes because I don't want to forget anything that I want to talk about today. In the book of Jeremiah and Lamentations, it's basically to a point where God has had enough of Israel. He has given them so many chances, and they continuously turn their backs on him, continuously walk in their wicked ways, serve these idols of stone and bronze, and serve every other god but God himself. They continuously sin, and because they don't fully have God as their number one, capital God as their number one, God has gotten to the point where he has decided to basically let them go. He says, the only way to get you back fully is to leave you alone, for you guys to kind of figure things out. I mean, he has done this before in other books previously. So I think at this point, actually, God is not even saying, I'm going to let you go so you come back. He's at the point where he's saying, I've basically given up on you at this point, because obviously we know he never gives up on us. But at this point, he says, there's nothing else that I can do. I am just going to have to leave you to your own devices. I'm going to leave you alone. You guys do what you got to do. But just know that when you do cry out this time, I'm not going to be there. So it's not that he doesn't hear them. It's that he turns his back to them purposely, because he doesn't want them to continuously do it. And the example that I thought of here was between a husband and a wife. So Israel is God's wife, and he did everything that he could do to save his marriage. And there's only so much one party can do. It has to be a two-person decision. And God has tried, he has reached out, he has shown miracles, he has shown them that he can do what they want him to do, but they continuously try to find more. And that is just the human heart. The human heart always wants and wants and wants because of sin. Israel, the wife, became more and more desensitized because the more chances that God gave them, the more they knew they could get away with things. They didn't know they could get away with things, they thought they could, and then continued to ask for forgiveness and continue to reach out to God when they needed him. There's only so much that a man can fight for his wife, but eventually he has to just let go and allow the wife to understand what she's done and realize that she's made this huge error in judgment. So if you think about it in a relationship, you do something bad, you get forgiven once. You do it again, you get forgiven again. And the more times that you continuously do the same thing and continuously get forgiven, the more you think you can walk all over the other person and take advantage of them and get desensitized to the punishment that you are getting by doing those things. So this is basically where Israel is at the time. And as human beings, we wouldn't put up with what God has. So it's funny because people always say, people that obviously don't read the word properly, they say that God is a tyrant, or he's mean, or he does things like kill a bunch of people, and he's angry and he doesn't care. And they don't realize that we as human beings wouldn't forgive as much as he has. The amount of times that Israel has continuously committed these atrocities, and he continuously forgives them because of his love for them, we wouldn't do that as human beings. And reading the Old Testament properly for the first time in my life, I've never thought he was a tyrant or mean. I've always known he was just. But this gives me so much perspective because I'm watching it from like his eyes, his disappointment, the way that these people continuously, worship other gods and continuously do the wrong things in God's eyes. I think human beings would probably forgive someone 3-4 times max. God continuously did this for generations. And if he was such an evil, tyrant, mean God, he could have easily snapped his fingers and got rid of everybody. He could have, everybody could have died. I don't want to put all this emphasis on Israel as they were worse than us. And I know that when we read the Bible and we read the Old Testament, we get really frustrated with Israel because they continuously do these things. But what we have to realize is that we are exactly the same. Human beings turn their backs on God. Human beings take advantage of him. And honestly, that includes us, Christians. We continuously do stupid things knowing it's wrong. And obviously that's not an excuse. You shouldn't continuously do things and then ask for forgiveness. That's not how this works. But what I'm saying is, as human beings, we are sinful by nature. And we will do things that displease God. We will say things that displease God. We are just like Israel. So just putting that into perspective for me while I've been reading this has really hit me and hit home. Because yes, I've been frustrated with Israel. Even in Exodus, which was the beginning of their kind of rebellion against God. And getting to this point, I'm we're the same. We're exactly the same. Human beings have our own idols, and today it might not be like it was back then. It's not necessarily statues. It could be celebrities, money, food. It could be pride. It could be ourselves, how we look. What you love the most becomes your idol. That can be anything. It can be movies, it can be music, it can be anything that you love more than God. And sometimes we don't realize we do it. Sometimes we do replace God with something else and someone else, people as well. We can make another person an idol. So we are no better than Israel, which is why we needed Jesus, but that is not part of this conversation because we're talking about the Old Testament. The world today, you can see the world today has rejected him. And this is why we are seeing so much of what we see now. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. People have rejected him. People have made idols of themselves, for themselves, of something else. Something that's supposed to fill that God-shaped hole. They have tried to fill it with something else. And that is why this world right now is so broken, because they have rejected him. We have to be careful as Christians because we are in this world, but we shouldn't be of this world. And we just have to catch ourselves sometimes. But like I said, we are not any better than these people, because even us as Christians who know God, we should know better, yet we still do the wrong thing. So we have to have a little bit of mercy on people that don't know him, and we need to also pray for those people because they don't know it any better. They don't, but we do, and we still do the wrong thing. So that is basically what I've learned from, my journey so far through the Old Testament, but also where I'm at with Jeremiah and Lamentations. I hope that this video was helpful, or at least opened your eyes to the fact that Israel that we're just like them. I will definitely try to make more of these updates where I get to a point in the Bible where I want to talk about it. I have so many notes already, and I wish that I did more of these more often, but I hope you do enjoy this. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Please subscribe to my channel. I really do want to reach more people, so if you could share this, that would be amazing too. I will see you guys in the next video. God bless, and chat then. Ciao.